You know when a movie bombs, you ever see the aftermath of that? You know, like when both Fantastic Four movies attempted a franchise which both stalled out, or when a TV show spawns a spin-off and the spin-off isn't as popular as the original, you see the studio's challenge. Do you try to save the product, or do you just say fuck it and cut your losses? Well, video games are obviously no different, and for Destiny, it's honestly at that point. Do you, for a better phrase, can you save Destiny 2, or just say fuck it? Now, I know the YouTube auditor's choice will involve anything with fuck it, so that's not even an option. But no, seriously, Bungivision has fucked up so badly, so royally, that it honestly has two horrible choices at this point. And no matter what, the choices will end up being wrong. Destiny 2 needs an overhaul to get players to come back. Loot, gameplay, content, the gun system loadouts. It launched in a shitty state. It continues to be in a shitty state while the development team tries to unfuck everything that happened to the game. Meanwhile, you know they have to be looking down the road to the next versions of the game, whether it's the fall expansion or it's going to be Destiny 3, both of which we know are already in various stages of development. So the challenge that Bungivision has, which they're almost guaranteed to fail, do you put more resources into fixing Destiny 2? Or do you cut your losses and just focus on Destiny 3? Now, here's the case for each, and why, no matter which one they choose, it's going to be the wrong choice. Currently, they're attempting to fix Destiny 2. And notice, I said attempting because that doesn't imply it's going to work. Look, I can attempt free throws in basketball. It doesn't mean I'm going to sink them all. I can attempt to pick up a stripper at the club hoping to get laid later. That doesn't mean that shit is going to work. Attempt doesn't mean success. It just means you're trying something and still have a chance of failing. Bungivision is attempting to fix Destiny 2 with their roadmap of bullshit. The issue is, the core of the game is fucked up. People don't want to play the game for various reasons, and all of the main reasons is tied to the core of the game, which Bungivision really isn't addressing. The two primary gun system, time to kill in the Crucible, 4 versus 4 in the Crucible, team shotting, no random rolls on guns. I mean, they roll out fucking emblems for Nightfalls and scoring for Nightfalls with modifiers. I mean, whoop-de-fucking do. The Titanic is sinking, motherfucker, and someone is worried about paint job on the goddamn smokestacks. Now, look, let's be honest here for a second. The Nightfall changes were pretty good, I'm not going to lie. I did enjoy the modifiers where you can actually control the point damage and which burn damage that you actually use. So that was pretty good. The problem is, you don't get anything out of this Nightfall any differently. I can do all of that shit for a higher score, but I'm still getting the same loot if I just say, you know what, psh, fuck it, I ain't doing this shit. So in all fairness, fans paid $60 for this game, or $100 if they pre-purchased the shitty DLC. There has to be a certain level of commitment to customer service for the game. Bungie and Activision know you can't sell people a fucked up game and not attempt to fix it afterwards. Notice, they didn't mind selling the game fucked up. They just know it needed to be attended afterwards. You know, you can't let a live game dangle in the wind like a nudist ball sack in a hurricane. You have to make some form of attempts to fix a bad customer service experience. Companies are very cognizant of bad products and the backlash from consumers over bad products. So showing your customers that you care about their purchase is part of your commitment to customer service and improving their view of you as a company. Unfortunately, for Destiny 2 and Bungivision, the damage has already been done. I mean, massively done at this point. Of course, they're attempting to fix the game because they have more DLC they need to sell us, which will not fix the core problems of the game. Remember what I said about The Division a few weeks ago? A big reason for its comeback, a big reason for its new renaissance, aside from Destiny's downfall, was that The Division had no more DLC to sell us, aside from a future sequel. The only thing The Division is doing right now is maintenance. Sure, they added free content because that wasn't part of their agreement with Ubisoft to sell gamers more shit. Without the need to sell us something, they had the time to improve what was already sold to us at that point. Bungivision isn't in this position yet. They're still selling us shit. They still need to sell the Gods of Mars DLC, a Destiny 1 expansion being stripped down and added to Destiny 2. They still need to sell us a fall expansion, so improvements to the game aren't coming quick enough because content is still being rolled out. And the content being rolled out is most likely going to be half-assed content again. So if you figure you have a team working on the Gods of Mars, a team working on the fall expansion, and a team working on fixing whatever shit is out right now, Bungie is spread thin on where they have all their resources. And because they have shit to sell us, they need to give the appearance that they actually give a fuck. In the state of the game as it is right now, Do you think people are going to pay money for the next 2 DLCs? No, really. Aside from the people who already paid for that shit, who the fuck is gonna buy a game where its own player base is leaving in droves? Exactly. So in order to make this game appealing to players, in order to push their next sales pitch, they have to show they're willing to correct the game, right? Fix what the fuck's wrong with the game so that their sale figures don't tank dramatically. In the end, these attempts are going to fail. It's already failing. And as I said, the core issues of the game are the problem. And Bungivision is putting a band-aid on this self-inflicted bullet wound. They're not addressing the core issues of the game, and they're not fixing those problems. Instead, because the studio is split up, because they have a May DLC, a September DLC, they have a current team fixing shit, and probably another team's already planning the Destiny 3 game, you have too many resources in different areas, and their roadmap does not address the biggest concerns the game has. Destiny 2 needs an overhaul, not a makeover. It doesn't need cosmetic fixes to shit. The game needs reconstructive surgery. This isn't Pamela Anderson getting a new pair of tits kind of surgery. This is that fucking Ken doll jackass changing every single fucking thing, including moving ribs to change his body structure. You ever seen that motherfucker? Oh my god, just Google Ken doll and you know what the fuck I'm talking about. This motherfucker got issues. You thought Destiny had issues? Nah, that motherfucker got some mental issues. But anyway, damage control at this point is not going to stop the bleeding. You need more than just a band-aid on some of these problems. You need the full overhaul to this game top to bottom, and without that, people are not going to return regardless of what fixes or additions you make to this game. So that leads to option number 2, the nuclear option. This option is called Fuck It. Fuck It, by far, is the most expensive option for Bungivision and probably the most damning. Fuck It says, you know what? Destiny 2 is a lost cause. And instead of investing more time and money into the shit, instead of trying to make this game work, we're just going to drop support for this game and focus on the sequel. No DLC, no quality of life changes, patches only to fix things we utterly fucking broke. Fuck It literally means Bungie gives up on Destiny 2. And in all honesty, it takes a bigger set of balls to pull that off than what they're doing right now. That is the honest to God's truth. Fuck It at this point is probably the only way they could win the public relations battle with fans. Fuck It is the only way they could give Destiny 3 a chance of succeeding because the franchise is not going to recover this time around the way it did with the Taken King. Fuck It can only work in a specific way, and here is how it has to be done. Step number 1. The CEO of Bungie, and probably even Activision, would need to release a statement, whether it's a written statement or a videotape statement that you post on YouTube. It doesn't matter. It just needs to be brutally fucking honest. That's all. Here's what they need to do. Get the motherfucker in front of a TV screen, get him in a pen and paper, and here's what you say. Dear Guardian, we have fucked up in the past 5 years. Destiny 1 was a rush product that we altered very late. Destiny 2 followed the same path and ended up being a stripped-down version of the game. We put profits over players, and it's been a mistake that we have knowingly continued over the course of the game's life. It has to stop. And to show you that we're serious about this game as a franchise, we're going to be upfront and honest about the overhaul process to make this game better. Now, obviously, you guys can tell I'd be fantastic at fucking writing PR releases. No, for real, if a CEO came out and said that shit, and all honestly and humbly, that would get your fucking attention. I don't give a fuck if you like the game, you played the game, you hate the game, you never played and you just hate on it for the sake of being a dick. If the head cheese of a company said some shit like this and was truthful about it, that would pique your attention instantly. Now, step 2 is listing exactly what needs to happen. So let's go back to my CEO presentation for a second. The reality of making a video game with this many moving parts, it requires multiple teams to work on various planned releases. So imagine the CEO saying this for a second. We currently have a team developing our May DLC, a team developing our September DLC, and a team trying to improve Destiny 2 based on player feedback. We're spread too thin to make this game what you want. And just hiring and adding people to this project is not going to solve the problem. So, here's our game plan. The main DLC is still going to be launched because fans have already paid for this. Those who paid for the season pass, you obviously want the second portion of your season pass, so we're going to continue to roll that out. The improvements that we have announced that are being made for patches and glitches and bugs and created, we're going to continue that. But that's it for Destiny 2. There will be no fall DLC. There will be no more DLC, period, for Destiny 2, because at this point, we're going to put all our resources into Destiny 3, and it's not going to be rushed. It's not going to have a set release date. It's going to be developed completely and released as a complete game in the future. I mean, to be honest for a second, you know the balls it would take to do something like that? I mean, pretty much do what Final Fantasy Online did a few years ago by taking a game offline and just saying, you know what, we fucked up and we need to overhaul and fix the entire shit. But here's the kicker. Here's the real kick in the dick that you need to talk about. Step number 3. And again, let me get back into my CEO voice. It's fun playing CEO for a second, man. Destiny 3 will be a fans game. A game that the fans will want to have more input than ever before. Fans will have the ability to list all their ideas for what they want for Destiny 3 and what it should have. And the staff is going to take as much time as possible and take all the quality suggestions and put this game into the game if it's possible. Destiny 2 made mistakes that fans pointed out, such as minimal loot rewards, limited RPG options to set up your character, reskins, crucible mistakes. Everything is on the table for redesign and will be changed in Destiny 3, including a more fleshed out storyline with variety. Look, just saying all of this shit doesn't mean Bungivision can pull that off. We know that. Now, obviously, they fucked up in the past. We know they could probably fuck up in the future. But you know what would really make fans happy? You know what would really get people to come back? That's step number 4. And again, let's step back into the CEO's voice for a second. For those of you who have purchased the season pass to the game, you've stuck with the game, played it in its current state that fans are not happy with, season pass holders will never have to pay for another DLC pack again. The season pass that you have now will be valid for Destiny 3 and all of Destiny 3's DLC, which will be free to current season pass holders. Without a season pass, then you'll obviously have to pay for this. Essentially, this rewards all of our players who have been trying to make this game work, even as we have messed up as we've gone along. It's a loyalty program, and we're trying to appeal to our most loyal fans that have stuck with us through thick and thin and put up with all of our mistakes that we have made over the past 4 years. Now, you see, if a CEO said that shit, people would come back. The fucking option is obviously not going to happen. And that's for various reasons. First and foremost, the contract that Bungie has with Activision is not going to allow them. Back when this franchise started, Bungie ambitiously thought they were going to be able to sustain this cycle of never-ending content for the game, but they quickly realized they're not fucking competent enough to do it. They're just not capable enough to use their old-ass technology to build brand new content every single month or every single quarter. So they renegotiated the contract to scale back all the shit that they will never do over the next couple years. And Activision agreed. Do you honestly think Activision is going to go back and have them change the contract again? No, of course not. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So what's going to happen? They're going to force them to release the May DLC. They're going to force them to release the Fall DLC. And then they're going to have them get right back to work on the next round of content, whether it's going to be another smaller DLC pack or Destiny 3. Essentially, this game is never going to be fixed. It's never going to be allowed to be happen. So as much as the fucking option could be your best bet, Activision is not going to allow them to do this. The fucking option is the most honest. It's the one that's upfront and says, you know what, we completely fucked up. It's not this shit that, oh, we're just trying to fix it. We're going to make it better. We're going to put some band-aids on this shit. No, the fucking option says, we know we messed this up. We know we absolutely screwed up this game, and because the game is so screwed up, we know we can't fix it. So what we're going to do, we're going to fix Destiny 3. We're going to take all your suggestions, all your input, and we're going to make sure that Destiny 3 has everything you want. You want more options, you want more guns, you want more loot, you want exotics to feel more exotic, you want the Crucible to feel like the Crucible of Destiny 1. These are things we're going to add to Destiny 3. Without their CEO or head of the game design being this upfront, people are not going to come back to this franchise. So whether you try to fix Destiny 2 in its shitty state, people aren't going to come back. And unless you get up front and say, you know what, we completely fucked up Destiny 2 and we're going to fix it, fans are not going to come back to the future parts of the game. So as much as Activision wants this game to sell and they see how much money they can make off of this game, they're not going to renegotiate the contract. So unfortunately, the fucking option is not going to be the one they take. They're going to take the save it option, and in the end, fans are not going to come back to the game. So Destiny 2 and Destiny 3 are essentially screwed over for the next 2 or 3 years. Personally, what I think we should do is start a petition to make me the CEO so I can fix all of this shit. Put me in front of a camera, I'll say, hey, we fucked up. The game is fucked up. It's time to fix this motherfucker. And I'll guarantee you fans will come back. So anyways, that does it for whether we save or bury Destiny. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.